talk a lot about what to do to get your garden ready for next spring when it's fall of the year. This has been a really abnormally dry and open and warm season. So what I want to talk about is your soil and the condition of the soil and some of the things that you should be looking at as we move further into winter. If you look at this soil, it is really dry on top. We dig by hand in our garden. We make sure we don't compact the soil in our garden. But if it stays abnormally dry and windy, this soil can begin to certainly blow away, if not erode. And there's a huge difference between the area that's mulched, although we're not going to mulch everything where our annuals are, and the area that isn't. So this is another good reminder that in locations where you want to hold that soil, moisture, keep those plants healthy over the winter months, a good layer of mulch is a great idea. So I want to take a look at the cover crop, because typically what we also will recommend is using cover crops and then tilling them in, and whether we do or do not do that depends a little bit on the situation and the weather itself. You might have noticed that the soil in our garden that we turned over in the fall is full of big rough clods, and we did that on purpose. That really helps to hold that moisture, really does also cut down on the wind erosion. If you till too finely, you get dust, and that dust is of course going to blow, then you lose the topsoil. Our cover crop that we planted in the fall came up a little bit spotty. Part of that is because we left our potatoes, but typically you turn that cover crop over, and we chose to leave this here. This is on a slope, and we were concerned, because we've seen it happen, that if we do get moisture, and we get a lot of moisture in a gully washer sort of a way, that soil is going to end up at the bottom of the hill. So in the first place, it's green. In the second place, of course, it holds that soil. We will then use this cover crop to help amend that soil as we go into the spring of the year. An open, dry winter and a great spring and summer can also lead to a lot of weed growth. And if your soil stays open in the winter, you're going to have more weeds. We have all sorts of things that have popped their heads up here. It's a good time to take a look at where they have emerged. Are they winter annuals that you really didn't get taken care of? Are they those great perennials like the dandelions that you want to keep your eye on? Or are they marauders that have come from a different part of the garden like this palm sedge? So as with anything in the landscape, you're scouting and you're looking for what is the condition of the soil, what is the condition of the plants in the soil. Are there plants that are out of place, whether they are weeds or weed-like perennials or annuals, that you really don't want in that landscape? Take a look at that and get rid of those before your season actually starts.